Hi, and welcome back to Chat and That podcast. I am very thrilled I have the next guest here. You know him from being in the MMC and being a nice guy, and you probably know him by wearing a 1975 jumper, sorry. Please welcome Dom. Woo!
Hi.
Yeah, Dom.
Or t-shirt, to be fair. Sometimes it's both. Sometimes I double merch.
I don't think I've ever seen you wearing something else.
It's just a really convenient jumper. It's very warm, but it's not too warm, and it just works in all weathers.
That's true. And it was expensive, Liv told me.
And it was expensive, so I'm getting my money's worth, you know.
Oh, it's good to see you, Dom. Thanks for coming in.
It's lovely to be here.
Yeah, I miss you.
I miss you too.
Okay, but thanks for coming on.
It's
again.
very welcome. I'm so excited.
I miss you, Dom.
I
think I ran into your arms quite drunkishly when I was at Midnight Heist.
Yeah, Midnight Heist, definitely. I walked in and I nodded at Liv and at Hope, and then I was accosted by
charged
with open arms by Matt Kirby, and it was a warm embrace. Yayan was very jealous.
Yayan's still a student though.
Yayan's still a student, exactly. Yes, but it was lovely, and the Midnight House was really good.
It was good.
Shout out Jake and Kirsten and all the other guys who work on that, because it's really cool. And if you want to go to the next one, there is going to be a next one. It hasn't been announced yet, but keep an eye out because it's coming.
Is it new? Is it new Midnight Heist?
Yeah, it's new.
Was that the first one?
That was the first. Well, that was technically the second one. There was one sort of like trial one last year, but now Jake is sort of like in charge of that stuff at the SU, so he's got a bit more responsibility and he can decide what gets put on. And we've got loads more really good bands now in the music course. It's been a little bit light, but now we've got like a really nice like selection of like good bands. So there should be more opportunity for people to come see the great stuff that the music department does.
Yeah, there were good bands there, weren't there? Yeah. So Jake organised it, and it's a passion project.
Yeah, it's a passion project. Yeah, basically. I mean, I think it's one of those things. Music students are always trying to find ways to get experience on their CV, because it's really hard to do that and get your foot in the door. And actually, it works out really well for Jake, because organising something for an SU is a pretty big deal. People are going to be impressed by that, and I think also he's a staff member at the SU. He likes the place and he wants to do them a good event. The SU, I think, for quite a few years has been trying to find more ways of getting people through the door than just bop. Yeah. So having something like that is like a really good thing, and I'm told that it was successful for the SU as well. So hopefully it's a long-term thing for future years and future students. It'd be really cool if like music students in the future get to take over from Jake and, you know, turn it into a bigger and better thing.
It is. It was Kirsten, Jake and Liv and Robin and Alex, who was here last.
Oh, right,
long black hair. Yeah, he was great. A lot of great things. But anyway, let's talk about you.
Yeah, hi.
Let's talk about you. A lot of questions about. No, I'm joking. I asked this question to everyone. How did we meet? But I bet it's just in the MMC.
It would have been in the MMC. I'm struggling to picture exactly when, because I think I did know you before I started working here.
Did you?
I'm pretty sure we'd met a couple of times. Not to the point where like we were friends or anything, but I was aware of you.
We had met before you worked here.
Yeah, we had met. Yeah, I imagine probably through Liv or Hope, something like that. Because obviously, or Easy Cross. It might well have been Easy Cross actually, because I would sometimes hang out with Izzy in the MMC, and you were probably here. So.
And you were in the same course and year as Izzy, right?
No, I was in the same course as Izzy, but she was a year below me.
So did I actually have a conversation with you when you were still a student?
Somebody's
when I was a first year then.
Yes, yeah. I'm pretty sure I was in my third year at that point. Yeah.
Oh.
But again, this whole university experience for me has been very, time has sort of stretched into like some weird continuum, because it started with COVID and then years sort of merged into one, and I've been here for like 1.5 years since I graduated, and like in working in some capacity or like trying to cling on to being a student by working with other students on their project. So I've sort of been here continuously ever since I started first year. So I don't know when I met you, but I definitely did before I started working here, and it was in the MMC.
In the MC. What's it like being a student and then coming and working here? It must be very weird.
I suppose it is weird because your relationship sort of with the people around you changes quite quickly. Before, like, prime example is probably Jimmer and the loan counter, because you would, if you're a student, obviously you're sort of like subservient to Jimmer, and you ask him for stuff, and you're a bit sheepish when you forget to format your SD card or you broke a little.
Quite rightly.
And look, you should be. I'm looking at the camera now. Format your SD cards when you hand them back into the loan counter. It's so annoying when they're not. You've been warned. Also cables. If you have XLRs, wrap them properly, because when cables are not wrapped properly, they get ruined. So wrap them. Anyway, you get subservient to Jimmer.
Yeah, wrap them.
Yes.
I don't do that at all.
I'll give you a lesson afterwards, Kirby. It's fine.
Thank you.
But you get like subservient to Jimmer, and like you're sheepish and stuff. So it's a weird thing when you're like
on the other side,
colleagues with him now, and he gets to tell you all the stuff that students do, and you get to be annoyed at stuff as opposed to being the one that's being annoyed at. If you see what I mean.
That'd be a good sitcom, Jimmer's stories, you know.
Look, Jimmer's awesome. He has he has a lot of stories which he's in the times of the day which are relatively frequent, where perhaps we don't have that much to do. Myself and Calum or whoever else is there on the day, we'll hang out in the loan counter, and Jimmer has all sorts of stories. But yeah, I mean, and then with the students as well, like it's sort of it's weird because I'm like friends with quite a lot of students from like before being like a staff member, although I'm no longer a staff member. You sort of have like that relationship where you're friends, but you're also there to help them with stuff.
Yeah. That's quite weird to be, as a student, you can go, yeah, let's mess around, but then as a staff member, you're like, oh, now I've got...
Yeah, like you have a responsibility, because like you can be having a laugh with somebody, and then the next minute they're asking you about how to edit this thing in Premiere Pro, or like, can you do a training session for me on this audio software, whatever. But actually, I quite like that, because it makes that much easier, that initial like awkwardness of like doing a training session, that goes away because it's just somebody you know, and that's actually helped me then doing training sessions with students who I don't know, because you just start straight away sort of being like one of their friends, really. I'm not trying to be like a teacher or something. I'm just somebody who's here that knows stuff.
So what is I've asked this 100 billion times. What is your job then? Because you're not a Cullen and Calum.
No, well, so
when
I did,
what was your job?
So I was Calum, basically. I was just part.
But you weren't allowed to go to the MMC loans counter.
I was a part-time Calum.
Oh.
So I wasn't allowed. Well, I was allowed to go in the loan counter, but my key card didn't have access to it. They weren't able to give access to somebody who was part-time. But if somebody let me in, if Calum or Jimmer let me in, I was more than allowed to be in there. But my job was basically part-time Calum. So I would be helping deliver training sessions, helping in journalism just over there.
Boo.
Well, actually, I know you might boo, but I actually really liked journalism. They're lovely people.
They must be, but they're our arch nemesis. And they keep using this studio. I have to fight this studio.
Yeah, but this is this is where they do the.
Well, it's a journalistic studio.
Yeah, this is where they do their news broadcast every week when they're doing TV news, and I was involved in that, and that's really fun actually. But yeah, that's basically what I'd be doing, helping people.
So, how did you how do you apply for a job then? Do you have to like get trained on everything before you come?
So I didn't really apply for it per se. People
You're forced to do it?
No, I wasn't forced to do it. People will know. People should know Shearer, who is the head of the department of the School of Media and Film, which is where
Is she the one with glasses?
Shira does wear glasses, yes.
Oh, right. Is she with black hair glasses?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you'll often find her like hanging around the MMC from time to time, or around the campus anyway. But she asked me whether I wanted to come on part time. I believe because Catherine moved to another department, who was previously working with Calum.
But you're a music student.
Yeah. So
how do you know cameras and a lot of the?
So
apart from sound, I know but you still know cameras and stuff.
Well, I know cameras-ish. I know how to use the lovely FS5s that are currently filming us right now. But I don't really know much else about cameras or lighting, things like that. I sort of picked up bits and bobs from being on the film sets of a few student films, mainly, if people remember last year's Arari, which was a lot of fun to do.
Yeah, were you on that?
I was on that. I was sound operator for Arari, and I scored it as well.
Did you?
I did. Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
their set was pretty impressive, and the robot.
The set was very impressive. We can talk about Arari. Yeah,
we'll talk about that later.
But yeah, the to go back to like the how I actually got it and what I actually did, I was pretty much taken on the understanding that I didn't really know much about cameras. So Calum was going to take on the camera stuff, which he was doing anyway, because Catherine was also audio focused as well, and then I would take on the audio stuff. So I did a lot of training sessions for students, particularly first years, on things like shotgun microphones, lav microphones, the mix pre, for example, as well, that kind of thing, and then teaching a little bit as well the journalism students about how to record in the field, things like that, how to level their packages for their VTs and stuff, anything audio related. And then also I do Premiere Pro as well, so I was doing a lot of post-production stuff with people.
You did music production?
I did.
Right.
Music and sound production. BA.
What kind of stuff did you do? And why is it? What's sound mean? I get music and sound.
Well, yeah, music is sound, but there is a reason why that distinction exists in the course. And that's,
you look at both, right?
They look at both. That's because it is predominantly about music, and it is a creative course. It's an arts course. It's not a science. So it is very much focused on artistry and creative music production. But there is a view to also look at sort of sound more generally in different industries. So there's game sound. We do a module where we're basically making the sounds for a game.
Really?
Which is really fun and like a whole different sort of set of skills. We have film sound as well, where we would score a film and also do things like Foley and ADR, which is pretty fun. Very, very hard. Foley is incredibly difficult. People who do Foley are very, very talented. We also did like music video as well, so we shot a music video, which is how I got introduced to sort of cameras and stuff and lighting. That's that whole kind of thing. And so and then also things like podcasting and radio as well. We had a module on that. So it's mostly music, but because it's a university course, you need to have quite a broad sort of view, because for a music student and for people, audio professionals, there's the idea of a portfolio career where you probably are going to have to be doing more than one thing at the same time in your work, because you can't necessarily make enough money just doing one thing, or you can't necessarily get a 9-to-5 job doing music production because it's mostly freelance, or it's mostly like in another city at night, because you don't record music from 9 to 5 because bands don't operate 9 to 5. Most audio music gets recorded like in the evening or at night, because that's how musicians work. Unless you're somebody like ethereal like Chris Martin, who's got his whole life sorted out, and he probably gets up at 9 a.m, has a coffee, and then just like writes a hit. But most bands are much more messy, and they have to have taken some things first.
I assume you've been in a band.
I haven't really been in a band per se.
Really?
No, not really. I've been much more of a producer my whole life, so I've produced a lot of artists. I do have my own artist project, which is just starting to sort of get into gear now. We're going to be doing some pretty heavy duty recording over the next couple of months, so watch this space.
What's it called?
It's called Treetops.
Right.
That's the name of my band, and there is a band.
So you're starting a band?
Yes.
And what, are you trying to find more people?
I've got some people who are going to be in it, but we're just working some stuff out. But it's all very casual for now. We're just going to have some fun with it. I've got some ideas. I've been writing songs for a long time. That was my FMP. I wrote some songs which were sort of supposedly going to be on like an artist project thing, but things got in the way and stuff.
Don't that I know are in the band.
Yeah.
Who?
I'm not at liberty to say at this point. I'm trying to keep it mysterious.
Is he cross?
I'm not going to say anything.
That's a yes.
It's not a yes.
Do you also look in like how to set up for like obviously like gigs and stuff?
Yeah, so that was another one of the modules was live sound, which is something that I really loved.
Really?
I love live sound.
Really?
Yeah.
It must be very difficult.
It's hard. It's really hard.
Because it's on the.
It's you got one chance. Otherwise, you've
Screwed.
am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
You fucked it.
Right.
It's not. You have one chance, but that's electric. There's no other feeling like it. I don't know if are you a regular concert goer.
Not really.
Or have you ever been to one?
Yeah.
Okay. So like, what you have to I feel things quite deeply when it comes to music. I'm quite like it gets me going, the goosebumps and stuff. Those few minutes before a show where it's the crowd's sort of murmuring, it's coming up to like 8:30 when the bands normally go on, and there's that excitement, that buzz in the air. That is what I live for. There's no other feeling like it, maybe other than like the 10 seconds before the lights go out for a Grand Prix, because I'm a big F1 fan. And that moment where your heart is beating really, really fast, and it feels like it's about to like fall out of your chest, and then the lights go out and it's like boom, adrenaline, and then everything's away, and because you don't know what's going to happen. That's the exciting bit, right? And in a concert, it's the same for me. It's like this band or this artist is like about to go on stage and electrify like 20,000 people, 10,000 people, wherever you might be. And that's so amazing. And to be a part of that on the crew is awesome.
And you would like to do that?
I would love to do that, because it's like that's what I live for. And if I enjoy that so much, I want to be able to help provide that for other people, because it's the best feeling. There's nothing like the intro to a concert before like they come on stage and everybody's screaming, everyone's like cheering. That's like the best moment. So I want to live for that.
Yeah, good for you. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
You should meet my mum. She's a music addict.
I would love to meet your mum.
She used to go to a lot of concerts.
Yeah.
She saw Rolling Stones 3 times, Genesis 3 times.
Awesome.
She was manning the phones for Live Aid.
Oh, wow.
But she saw Live Aid through a TV. But
Yeah.
her biggest regret is not actually watching Live Aid.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, what a day, Live Aid. That was very special. I wish I was alive.
Yeah, same.
To be there.
Yeah.
Because that was that Tracy Chapman performance where she did Fast Car in front of Wembley.
Oh right, yeah.
Unbelievable. Watch it if you haven't seen it before. Go on YouTube and watch it, because that is an extraordinary performance.
Anything? How did you become a musician then? How did it go? Take me back.
Take me back.
Someone gave you a triangle and say play with this.
So I it's weird. I think I've always liked music ever since I was a little boy. My dad he's big into his music. He still is. He's still big into his music.
Right.
He was like in a band, not a successful band, in the 90s in Belgium when he was like a student. And he was also like in a music magazine like in Belgium where he wrote and did interviews and stuff. He met some pretty famous people. He's interviewed like Blur and Pixies, and who did Where Is My Mind for the uneducated people in the audience. He's also done like interviews, I think, with Divine Comedy, if anybody knows them. So it's pretty big indie stuff. So he's always liked his music, and I think that rubbed off on me. One of my first ever memories, I don't have a lot of memories of childhood, but I do remember being in the car listening to like this band called the Raconteurs, when I was like 5 years old, and I was singing along to this song, which was definitely about taking drugs or having sex or something. And my dad was like, "Why is he singing this?" But it was a great song, so it was okay. And then I remember hearing like Coldplay and Snow Patrol and stuff on the radio, and sort of being sort of remembering liking that. But what really music for then was sort of just something I heard on the radio. Didn't really know what it meant to me when I was that young. But then I was in year 9, and we had music like in class, as you do. We had a music lesson every week, and there was an electronic dance music module in year 9.
Electronic what?
Electronic dance music.
Dance music.
Yeah, so EDM. So like, you know, people like Calvin Harris or that kind of thing. House music and stuff like that. And that for some reason really clicked with me. Making my own compositions. That was like the first thing, and it was a year 9 music class, so it was chaos because nobody really cared, you know, because it's all the troublemakers having some fun pressing DJ on the keyboards and that kind of thing. So I cared though, and I was working really hard on my compositions, and the teachers noticed it, and they were like, you know, that's pretty cool. At the same time, I was starting to actually discover listening to music just for listening to music, not like because it's on the radio or because it's on the TV. And it was house music that I first fell in love with. So artists like Martin Garrix, I mean, the big one was Avicii. And Avicii was really my first sort of like musical hero. I remember it's the first album his debut record, True, was the first album I ever like was anticipating the release of. And I remember like running upstairs after I came home from school on Friday to listen to it on Spotify. And I was like just mesmerized by it all, like Wake Me Up, what a tune.
True.
That's his debut record. It had Wake Me Up on it, which is his most famous.
I've heard that name before. True.
Yeah, it's a song by Spandau Ballet as well. But
yeah,
it's
yeah.
But it's Avicii's debut record. So he was my first musical hero, and that's when I decided to start making house music. So I started making house music, and I started releasing it.
From home.
From home, yeah. And I had a relatively successful SoundCloud page.
Really?
Yeah, I have like a combined like 200,000 plays on songs on SoundCloud. I one song I did in particular was a remix of Faded by Alan Walker, if you remember that song. And that has like 50,000 plays on SoundCloud.
Do you still use the SoundCloud?
No, it's all gone. You can find it if you want. I'm sure if you want to search it up, you can find it. But
take advantage of it. Make it keep going.
Well, the truth, what happened was I was doing that and I was enjoying it, and I got to like I have Alan Walker on Skype. That's my claim to fame. He's the most famous person I have on my contacts.
How?
There was a whole sort of group of like young producers, and he was sort of some of us got a little bit more successful than others. I wasn't that successful, but there were a few of us that got quite big and who are now quite successful, and we got to meet him through that. So yeah.
So you have his Skype?
I have his Skype, yes.
Do you want to call him now?
I will not be calling him now.
Okay.
I don't know if it even works anymore. Like it probably doesn't even have that account. Skype's pretty much dead, I think.
Yeah.
But,
you can always try.
It's my claim to fame. So I did that. But what happened was I started discovering other music. So I sort of moved on a little bit from house music and started looking at alternative music.
And what's alternative music?
Well, basically, all I'm saying about alternative music is sort of like guitar music, to be honest.
Right.
I was on YouTube. If you I've already mentioned them, but it sort of sounds a bit ridiculous, but it's Coldplay. So at the time when I was doing the house music and stuff, obviously, they released a song called "A Sky Full of Stars," which was produced.
I love that song.
It's a great song. It's produced by Avicii. So that turned me on to Coldplay, and I went and listened in more detail. And I fell in love with that sort of stuff. And then that opened all the doors. Floodgates opened then. Then it was Radiohead. It was Muse. It was, Snow Patrol. It was Pixies. Or like, the doors just kept opening. And then the thing that really changed everything was I was in the car one day in July of 2018 on the radio. and a song called "Give Yourself a Try" by the 1975 came on the radio. It just came out, and from then on,
you're obsessed with them.
I'm obsessed with them. I decided I wanted to make music like them, and then the floodgates continued to open, and they opened a whole wide range of doors to new artists and all the rest of it. People that we love today, sort of just people that are quite famous today, who I sort of discovered around that time. Doors just kept opening, but that's when I started really writing music. But yeah.
And how do you write music? What was your process?
What's my process? Well, my process is sort of quite deeply intertwined with dance music, because that's the way I sort of learned how to write. So I
dance and it comes to you.
Well, it's more, how like dance music is sort of very structured, and it's like in 16s and 32 bar sections. So basically, like, there's like a intro, a verse, a drop, a verse, a drop. I see music quite in a structured fashion, so I sketch out a song. So I'll say intro is going to be this, verse is going to be this, chorus, and I like sketch it out, and I sort of say I might start with one of those sections. So normally I start with a chorus. I tend to start with like the peak, like, energy of the song, and then I work backwards. But it depends. Sometimes songs just sort of fall into my lap. Like I'll just be in the shower or like on the train or something, and a song will just arrive like nearly fully formed in my mind. So I have to quickly hum it into my phone or go to a piano and play it while it's still there. So that's the other way it happens. And I suppose there's a third way, which is sort of like a jam sort of thing. You kind of go fishing. You sit at the piano, or I might sit at my computer and like play with some synths or something, and just wait until I find a chord or a sound or something that I like, and then that will set off inspiration, and then the song appears.
So when you made stuff here, is it like a couple of songs or an album that you're quite proud of? What's an EP? What does an EP mean?
So an EP is extended play.
Right.
So and then an LP
you had to make one,
is a long play. So yeah, we had to make one. We had to make a few EPs depending on which year and module we were doing. So there was one EP where it was at the end of second year, and that's just sort of like a sort of mini FMP where you like just do like a 3-song EP just to like practice your craft essentially. And that was pretty good. I'm most proud of my final major project, which no one has ever heard other than lecturers, because there are flaws. Right. There are flaws with it.
Can I hear it?
I can send it to you.
Oh, cool.
I mean, Izzy Cross has it, for example. But
what is it? So, you mean you've seen a lot of errors in it, and you're not really happy with it?
Well, yeah, there was a lot of things I don't like about it. Final year was very hard for me for a number of reasons which I have to get into. But
COVID was your year?
No, it wasn't COVID. It was other stuff, but it's okay. But there were moments where I was like, this is great. There's a lot of stuff I like on that, and I'm proud of the songs. And some of the songs are still going to be with me as I start this new artist project. But some of the production, some of the vocal performances are just a bit naff.
Do you ever find yourself putting, what artists do? They put their pain into a song.
Yeah.
Did you ever?
I do that all the time.
Really?
It's mostly pain.
Right. No, you're a lovely guy.
I know I'm a lovely guy, but I write a lot of songs about stuff that's...
Is that how it is? Like, like basically 90% of all songs are about breakups and...
Yeah, but a lot of the music I like isn't really about that stuff. Like, if we look at like a 1975 record, there's not a lot of stuff there about like breakups or like
that's true,
love, really. I mean, some of the songs of course are about that because everyone experiences those kinds of things, but oftentimes there'll be songs about politics or about social constructs or about addiction or those kinds of things, which are all things that are there in my life too, in one way or another. So I write about that quite a lot.
What is your fascination with the 1975? Because
how long have you got?
Is it Matthew?
How long is the podcast supposed to be?
An hour.
Okay.
What about that guy with the sunglasses? Did he date Taylor Swift?
The lead singer of the 1975 is Matty Healy.
Matty Healy.
Yes.
Why is he very odd?
So Matty is how do I explain this? Matty is a really I believe he's a really good person. I think he's got a good heart, but he often sort of puts his foot in his mouth because he's trying to do something like artistic, or he's trying to do something sort of deliberately controversial, but then occasionally, and it is very occasionally, it's not very often, it's not as often as many people claim it is, he steps a little bit too far over the line and he actually offends someone. And
Right.
and like that's kind of comes with the territory. But the people who say that he's a racist, or like he is Islamophobic, or he's a homophobe, whatever, it's complete nonsense. It's just not true. The man's track record throughout his career,
Yeah.
the songs he's written, the causes the band has supported and donated to, just look at their actual record. They are one of the strongest advocates in music for gay rights, for example, or for racism. As in the anti-racist sort of movement. They were talking, the song Love It If We Made It, which is probably their best song, which is the real political anthem of the 21st century as far as I'm concerned. It's like the We Didn't Start the Fire of 2018, but it's that song has a lyric about police basically suffocating like black men right when they're arresting them.
Right.
That song came out 3 years before George Floyd was killed, and like all that stuff happened in America with the protests and things. Matty has been talking about this stuff since before it was cool to talk about this stuff, because that's a big part of it. Unfortunately, there's a lot of like performative activism in our generation where people will see something that they don't agree with necessarily, and then they'll see like on Instagram people complaining about it and saying that we should change things, and then what they'll do, they'll jump on that bandwagon. I don't know if you remember on Instagram when that happened, people were like changing their Instagram profiles like to have a black screen, that kind of thing. You know, in my opinion, that's kind of useless. It's not actually doing anything. Or like these days, something that's pretty common is like when a celebrity says something or indeed doesn't say something about an issue, they get bandwagoned on because they haven't spoken out about X issue or Y issue.
Right.
And Matty's always railed against that because it's not his responsibility. If there's a cause that you want to say something about, say it. But you can't, if you spend your entire life talking, like, if you spend your entire life raising awareness or like shining a light on every issue that happens in the world, your mental health is gonna fall apart because the world is very scary and there's lots of bad things happening. So if you spend your whole life doing that, your energy is going to be destroyed. So you have to protect your energy.
Well, I didn't know 1975 was that. I've only listened to a few of their songs, but my question is, why is Matt Healy like on SNL? He was just out of it, and
well, so that's okay. So I went on quite a big tangent there about like social issues, but we'll move on. Matty, so this whole era, Matty is
it's a typical rock star.
It's a typical rock star, but the whole era which we've kind of just finished we finished it in March for the end of the European tour of, it's called At Their Very Best, and the whole thing of it was the live performances were like a theatrical like stage play combined with a concert, and one of the things was that Matty was essentially like pretending to be drunk. He was pretending to be, so he was a bit drunk, but he was pretending to be a lot drunk, like on stage in the first part of it. So the first part of the play, of the concert, was supposed to be him in his house, like being sad, being depressed, being drunk, being like under the influence of drugs, whatever, you know, talking about his past because he was once, you know, incredibly unwell, sort of with addiction and stuff.
Oh, right.
So it's sort of harking back to that. He wouldn't address the crowd really. He would sing sideways sometimes. He would, all that kind of thing. He's acting though. So he's being very aloof. He's holding a bottle of wine, he's swigging it, and that kind of thing. It's all very aloof. And then in the second half of the show, he comes out in a suit, sunglasses on, and he's showman. And he's like, "Boom, how you feeling, New York?" You know, like all that kind of stuff. That's what it's an act.
Yeah.
It's not entirely an act. He probably was a bit drunk, but you would be if you're performing in front of 20,000 people. I would need to be drunk.
But you said that 1975 they just chose it at random.
What?
They just saw the number and thought,
No, that's not the truth.
is it not?
No,
That's
so
what you told me.
I have not said that.
Oh,
The
that's what else
law,
told me.
the 1975 law is that it's in a Jack Kerouac book. If people know who Jack Kerouac is, he's a famous author of the classics. And there was a line in one of his books of poetry, which was it was the 1st of June, the 1975. For some reason, it wasn't 1st of June 1975. It was 1st of June the 1975. And Matty saw that and he thought, that sounds fun. That's going to be the name of my band. They used to be called Drive Like I Do. They were an emo band when they were kids because they've been together for like 21, 2 years now. When they were like little kids, so they've been around a long time. And then they changed the name to 1975 in like 2011, and then 2 years later they released their debut album, and that was it.
So there's 4 of them, isn't there?
Yeah, Matty, Adam, George, and Ross.
And would you like to meet them, I assume?
I would love to meet them. I would probably like collapse and die if I met them, but yeah.
So I assume you've seen them live?
9 times.
9 times?
9 times.
When was the first one? When was the very first one?
The first one was when I was 18. It was at Reading Festival 2019 when they headlined the Friday night. That was the most incredible night. It's very special to me, that night.
So have they had a new album recently?
No, so the last record came out 2022, Being Funny in a Foreign Language, and they've been on a tour for like 2 years since then. They stopped, which ended in March this year. They did 4 nights at the O2 in February. I went to two of those shows. I've seen their very best show: Reading 2022, Bournemouth 2023, London 2023, London 2023 again in Finsbury Park. They did a show in front of like 80,000 people in a park. It was awesome.
Oh my God.
And then 2 nights again in the O2 this year.
Wow.
As well as Reading 2023 when they subbed in for someone. I can't remember who, but they did a self-titled debut record where they played it in full, which was very cool.
Did they bring on Taylor Swift in one of them?
Yes, and I was there.
You were there?
That was London 2023. That was night 1 at the O2 2023. She came on. So I said it was like split into 2 halves.
Oh yeah.
With like a mini interval. Normally the interval is Matty doing like this bit of like performance art on stage where he sort of like eats raw meat and touches himself and does. Yeah, it's a whole thing. You either get it or you don't.
Right. That's what.
People, if you're a fan of the band, you'll get it and you enjoy it. Most people, it's sort of like a time to like go to the loo or something, but it's pretty cool. But instead of that, there was a knock on the door because the set of the stage is a house. So yeah, so there was a pretend knock on the door. Adam, the guitarist, opens the door and Taylor Swift walks through that door.
Oh my God.
And let me tell you, I have never heard a louder sound in my life than the roar of the crowd when she walked through that door. There was sort of this wave because the people at the very front and the right-hand side could see her walk through, and then people on the left, I was on the left at the front, so I didn't see her for like a second after they had.
Yeah.
And there was just like this like euphoric
huge
wave. And then she played Anti-Hero on an acoustic guitar. So that was the first time she'd ever played that song live. And then she did a cover of The City by 1975.
And that's it.
And then they came back on and did their second half of the show. And they are the only band that could have done that because they are the only band that could sort of upstage Taylor Swift by doing the rest of their set.
What do you think of Taylor Swift in general?
I think her music is fine. Some of it's really good. Some of it's really mid. I think what is good is that her concerts are like really great in terms of like being really safe spaces for women and girls.
Yeah.
And she's definitely a role model for women and girls, which is really important. And I think for the most part, she's a good role model for those people.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Those concerts seem like good fun. I don't agree with everything Taylor Swift does, but
have you been to Taylor Swift's concerts?
No, I haven't. I'm not particularly interested in. I wouldn't be interested in going to see it. It's just it's just not my thing. But I think she's cool. Like there's much more interesting music and much more interesting pop music out there at the moment, like which I wish was more successful. But it is starting to become more successful. there's like this wave of like female artists, a lot of
Yeah,
them
yeah.
who are queer, which is great. But obviously like people like Chapel Roan or like Charlie or those kinds of people.
Have you heard? I like a person called Sigrid. Have you heard of
Yeah, Sigrid is really cool. Yeah, I'd love to see her live. She's been
Yeah.
around. She's been around a while, and she's great. She makes really interesting music, so that like Scandinavian thing. I've always loved Scandinavian artists like Björk and stuff as well. So yeah, she's cool.
What's your kind of favorite type of music then? Is it rock or is it?
It's
Scandinavian?
indie. It's indie pop.
Indie pop.
It's like it's stuff like the 1975, obviously, but then like anything that's sort of adjacent to that, I'm going to enjoy.
Is indie pop like unknown a little bit?
I wouldn't say it's. I don't think it's about it. How much? I don't think it's about how popular it is. I think it's just about sort of the vibe. It's. I love all kinds of alternative music. To be honest, I can go all the way from like a a shoegaze band like a My Bloody Valentine, all the way to like folk stuff like Bon Iver or whatever. I'm all in between. I just love anything that's interesting to me. Hyperpop stuff, like 100 Gex or something like that. People will know if they know. Like that's as long as it's interesting and it's doing something that's a bit different, or it's in the case of like a 1975, it's so like mercurially good. It's great. Like it's genre defining. They are like the defining band of a generation. I'm a sucker for like stuff that feels big musically. So that's kind of where I'm at.
So Izzy Cross and Hope, my friend Hope.
I know Hope
is
very well.
getting me into Taylor Swift,
Mm.
and Hope's getting me into what's her name, Phoebe Bridgers.
Yeah, Phoebe Bridgers. She's one of my favourites, and their band Boy
Vass
Genius.
is trying to get me into Sabrina Carpenter.
Okay, yeah, Sabrina. Yeah, I
But
like Sabrina.
you went crazy. We had a lovely time at Spoons about a couple of months ago.
I
But
remember
you went
very well.
Crazy over, get this name right, Big Thief.
Big Thief,
Right,
yes,
what's
Adrian
your
Lenker's
obsession with
band.
Big Thief?
So Big Thief are a band fronted by Adrian Lenker, who's a brilliant singer-songwriter herself, and they're just a really lovely band. They have really beautiful, well-written songs, and I particularly fell in love with their latest record, which is called Dragon You, War Mountain, I Believe in You, which is a brilliant name for an album. But it's just gorgeous music. It's so lovely to listen to. It envelops you in like a nice hug. The great song called Little Things. If you want to try Big Thief, try Little Things from that album I just said. Or there's a song called Masterpiece from their first album, which is kind of maybe like one of the most accessible ones if you want to like have a go. But yeah, Big Thief. Love them.
Alex, who was on yesterday,
Yeah.
he had a shirt that said Veruca Salt on it.
Veruca Salt.
Do you like them?
I don't know who they are. I
Do you
know
of them.
Veruca Salt is in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I know
They're
that.
a band.
I've got no idea who Veruca Salt are as a band. Alex likes a lot of very different kinds of music to what
Do
I
you
like.
do?
Yeah, Alex is into a lot more like heavier stuff and a lot more like old stuff. I think he really loves The Doors, which is like a band in the 60s and 70s. I think I've had a chat
Do
with
you
him.
like that era, 70s and 80s?
Not really. There's some stuff I do. Generally, like the stuff that people enjoy, the classics.
Like
Rolling Stones,
Genesis.
Beatles, obviously, Genesis,
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
Beatles.
Also, like Fleetwood Mac or David
Yeah.
David Bowie. I mean, David Bowie is one of my favorite artists of all time. He's written some incredible pieces of music, along with like Brian Eno and Robert Fripp, who are big producers at the time with him. Talking Heads, big one for me. I love Talking Heads.
What about like Led Zeppelin and Sabbath and
Not really for me. I get
Kiss?
it. I can appreciate the songs, those kinds of bands, but I it's just not really my thing. Back in like the late 70s, early 80s, I would have been into like the sort of the indie stuff of the day. So the Smiths, The Cure, Joy Division, Talking Heads, those kinds of artists, because they were the visionaries. The Pixies, they were the ones that sort of, I think, invented sort of modern alternative music.
You need to meet my mum.
I would love to.
Because she's a music crack addict.
Yeah.
And we always play music games as a young child and she'd always win and it was so boring. But she grew up with Top of the Pops and All Grey Whistle Test.
The All Grey Whistle Test. Yeah.
She loved a band called not Lindisfarne.
Lindisfarne, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
you know them?
I know Lindisfarne, yeah.
She was a huge T-Rex fan.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
She was upset when Mark Bolan died.
Yeah, well, that was very sad.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was a very special person.
David Cassidy.
David Cassidy, yeah, another one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, she drags me to stuff, right?
Yes.
So we've seen Hall & Oates twice.
Oh, I love Hall & Oates.
Love Hall & Oates. I love Hall & Oates.
Yeah.
I've seen Elton John last summer.
Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah.
Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
Lionel Richie.
Yeah.
Madonna was last year,
That's cool.
which she came on late, and she didn't.
I've heard bad stuff about her live performances.
Yeah, she came on an hour late, and
Yeah.
then she sang all the new stuff that no one had heard of,
and didn't do
and
any
then
of
didn't do any of the
Yeah.
classic. And then I'm seeing Paul McCartney in December.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see Paul McCartney. He's cool.
I love Paul McCartney, and I'm seeing Oasis next year.
There you go.
What's your opinion on Oasis?
I've never been a huge fan of Oasis, I'll be honest.
There's 6 songs that I love.
They have the first 2 records, Definitely Maybe and What's the Story, Morning Glory, are undeniably great albums. Particularly Definitely Maybe. That's a great record. You know, that's produced brilliantly, great songs, captured lightning in a bottle, that album for sure. But I think most of their work post What Story, Morning Glory is sort of forgettable and not really worth listening to. In terms of Britpop at the time, Blur were much more interesting. The Verve, Pulp, Suede, they were all more interesting bands to listen to. I'm happy for fans of the band that they're back together. Those Wembley nights are going to be very special for fans of that band. It's going to be like a cultural moment. I do appreciate how Coldplay decided they would just one-up them by doing 10 nights in a row, like a week later, which I'm going to be attending. But
so you got Coldplay tickets,
I
right?
do have Coldplay tickets, yeah.
Damn it. What's your opinion on Kanye West then?
These questions are different to the ones you sent me.
Sorry, yeah, well, I added notes. I always add notes at the end.
I like I'm happy to talk about Kanye because it's interesting.
But Rob Ferrin,
who I know very well,
said that he loved Kanye West's first album.
Yeah.
School Dropout.
And then
after that, it's all
the College
weird.
Dropout.
Do you agree?
I really like Kanye's music up until about my dark beautiful twisted fantasy, which is the 5th or 6th one that has like the song All of the Lights, if that's probably the most famous one, or Runaway, that's the most famous one, the one that's like that piano is like ding ding for like 6 minutes.
Right.
That song, that's really
talented.
Yes,
but he's crazy.
He's crazy, and he needs like mental help. Like he's just not well. I genuinely don't believe he's a bad, or he probably is a bad person now because of the way he is. I don't believe he was a bad person. And he's a very talented producer. He's a genius. He's a sampling genius.
Is he?
And he
still?
Yeah, I still now some of the beats that he has on his tracks are great. The lyrics are rubbish and the performance isn't very good, but the actual music behind it is still genius. And back in the day, those early albums are unbelievable. Like the production quality, the beats are amazing. Like, and I still listen to some of those records because they're really good.
What's your least favorite band that you, or musician or artist that you can't stand?
Oh, that's hard.
That people say, "Oh, I love this band." You go,
I don't know, like Imagine Dragons, maybe. I find Imagine Dragons like insufferable.
Really?
Yeah, that song Thunder makes me want to like punch a wall.
I like that. The space one. I'm on top of the world.
I don't. So their first record, I don't mind so much. Demons is a great song. I'll give them that. I just think they went really downhill. What else? Is there anything else I really don't like? I find like a lot of modern Ed Sheeran insufferable as well.
Early on.
Early on, I like early stuff like the A-Team and
oh yeah, I love that song.
And what's that other song that he Lego House. They're beautiful records, and You Need Me Man, I Don't Need You is a classic, by the way.
Photograph. Yeah,
Photograph is good, but kind of everything sort of post Shape of You I just find really sort of soulless and a bit like boring. Castle on the Hill though is exception. That's a great song.
My uncle lives in the area of Castle on the Hill.
Yeah, I mean it's a great song, and it really,
because it's based on an area,
based on the area, and it does a great job of. That's a really good bit of songwriting because it does a great job of like you when you're listening to that song, you can imagine where he's talking about in your mind.
Yeah,
which is great. That's a really good song. I'm not trying to be mean.
Have you been to the Castle on the Hill area?
I haven't. I know he's from around like Suffolk.
Because I've been there.
Yeah.
Because my uncle lives there, but I walked into a charity shop.
Oh yeah.
And the mum of Ed Sheeran donated lots of shirts to a charity
Ah.
shop, and like 700, 500 quid each.
Well, there you go. You see.
Yeah, his own
No,
shirts.
I'll say, like, I'm not disparaging Ed. Not he's ever going to see this, but unless I become like a
everyone has an
famous,
opinion on
unless I
it,
become like a famous artist one day, I don't know. I like Ed the person. I think he's a really nice guy, and he's clearly like people go to his concerts and they love it. And like he sponsors his local football team, Ipswich Town, who are in the Premier League this season. Big up Ipswich. He seems like a really nice guy. I've got nothing against him. I just don't really like his sort of new music.
What do you? Two other names. What do you think of Carole King and James Taylor? My mum loves them as well.
Okay, yeah. Well, they're great. I like.
You're hesitating.
No, but they're great. As
Okay.
in, like, I just don't know what to say other than that they're great.
Okay.
They sort
I'm just naming a list of bands that my mum.
They're sort of just, particularly Carole King. It's very influential. Lots of artists you could draw a line back to listening to Carole King, like James Brown as well is another one.
Oh, yeah,
in that sort of realm. I'm a big fan of like sort of conscious hip hop to people like Kendrick Lamar, and his music is influenced by stuff like that.
What about Dua Lipa?
Very different.
Let's just name a bunch of artists.
I like Dua Lipa. I think she's really interesting. I think her music is pretty cool. I find, and she was really good at Glastonbury actually.
Yeah,
she was surprisingly good. I didn't think the show would be that interesting, but she actually really pulled it off. And I think that's mainly just down to the strength of her discography. Like she just has bangers, and like people can sing along. You know, everybody knows the words to One Kiss or New Rules. Everyone knows those songs, so that you can have a good time. And yeah, I think she's really cool. I would like to see her take a step forward with her next piece of work, because there's a lot of very interesting pop music going on at the moment, like Sabrina Carpenter, Chapel Roan. I want to see her sort of discover herself and like really take a bit of like an artistic step forward, because I felt like it was a little bit safe, this latest record. Like it's still good, great songs.
What is it with I find it interesting that with artists they seem to like have to reinvent themselves every single time, and then that's a kind of good question for you. Like, describe why artists evolve, and do they evolve in the right way? Do they get a bit crazy as they?
I think that you have to. I think like with an artist, when you're an artist, you're always wanting to do the next thing once you've finished the thing you've just done.
Yeah.
And ultimately, if you just make another album that sounds like your previous one, you're just going to get a bit bored.
Yeah.
So I think most of it just comes out of boredom and wanting to do something a little bit different. I think it's always going to be adjacent, right? You can't, like, for example, if we take the 1975, you can't, it's all the same band and you always know it's the same music. And if you really listen, you can hear the same tendencies and the same sort of characteristics. They're always there, right? But it just moves a little bit with the times, or, you know, they might decide this album we're going to go a little bit smaller. We're going to bring things in a bit more acoustic, a bit more sort of calm and gentle. But then they might decide next record we're going to go huge and we're going to go big with synths and big drums, and it's like built so that we can play it in stadiums, that kind of thing.
And can people crash and burn? Can artists crash and burn when their album is...
a lot of them do.
Really?
Yeah, like there's the whole
One-hit wonders.
One-hit wonders, and there's the trope of the difficult second album, where you get an artist that does it has a huge first record, and then they go and make a second one, and it doesn't really get that popular, and then they sort of just fade into obscurity. You know, there's plenty of examples of artists like that, but the good artists are the ones that can write that difficult second album and take that step forward. And that's when you know that they're going to be around for a long time. So like Sabrina Carpenter's a prime example of that. Yes, technically her latest record is her sixth one, but the first four were sort of like in her Disney era.
Yeah.
So she had the first album that was like maybe like proper Sabrina, which was Emails I'll Never Send, which is the one that had Nonsense and Feather on it. And people were like, okay, this is cool. Like she sounds interesting, but what's the next thing going to be?
No, my favourite is Can't Blame a Girl for Trying.
Right, that's a great record, right?
Great song.
But then she releases Espresso, and all of a sudden people are like, okay, yeah, she's here, she's around, she's gonna stay around, because this latest record, Short and Sweet, is really good, and she sort of has become, she's now a pop star. She's the pop star. She's been number one in the UK for like, I think it's about 17, 18 weeks this year so far, which is like nearly half of the whole year, basically. Like she's absolutely huge.
Is there a lot of bitchiness, a lot of competition in music?
I think there
Because
used to be.
I see him like
Sorry.
like how does it feel as a musician when you're overtaken by someone?
Well, I don't know.
Because Olivia Rodrigo and Sabrina Carter seem to be like.
Well, they have that whole thing with like one of their boyfriends, right?
Yeah.
I don't know
I think
the
that's
whole.
what the press as well. The press seems.
Well,
to
the press
this.
hypes these things up, right? I think it used to be quite a big, like back in we were talking about Oasis earlier, back like Oasis and Blur. There was a big competition there, like trying to get number one, and whoever won the Brit Award or whatever. There was big competition and fights and all the rest of it, and Oasis would throw shit at all the other bands because they thought they were like the best band in the world when they really weren't. But because they have massive egos, right? I think these days it's a little bit different because I think our generation's a little bit more willing to be sort of supportive of each other, and it's not so much competition. It's like you're big, and I'm big. You can be big too. Like I don't think Sabrina Carpenter and Olivia Rodrigo, for example, they can share a space.
Yeah,
you know.
And I think it's the press that really I notice is they kind of make women kind of have this war against each other.
I think that's
is unfair.
I think that's fair. I think that's a fair point. I think the media definitely try and whip stuff up because they want people to click on their Instagram posts and all the rest of it. So that's what they do. But I don't know. I think generally speaking, it's a lot more collaborative and a lot more like friendly, the music industry today.
Another question I have. I've got two more questions. Until we get on to more last quick-fire questions. How do you feel about musicians when they're on the stage? Because Paul McCartney and Glastonbury was... Sorry, Paul. I love you, Paul, so much. It was at Glastonbury, but he spent 85% of the song playing songs that no one knew.
There wasn't a lot of Beatles.
Yeah, and then he'd play Blackbird and some other classic songs, and then it was like 3 hours of like...
Stuff I didn't really care about.
But then he noticed, because he was, he's quite old, and, he can't... But he said, he got annoyed. He went, by the way, guys, when we play our new stuff, I just see a field of blackness. When I play an old Beatles song, I just see all the stars light up in the sky with your phones.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on how hard it is for musicians to play new stuff, and then is it hard for them to play their new stuff, and then you feel like, oh god, I've played this song 100
but the thing with somebody like Paul McCartney versus like a band that's in the middle of their prime, even if you're like a band that's on like their 8th or 9th album, but you've been releasing music continually for like 20 years and you're still going, I don't mind you playing new stuff there because like you're still a band doing your thing. Paul McCartney is like on a legacy tour, right?
Yeah.
He's not yes, he is technically still a recording artist making some okay music, and it's not bad. I listen to the record, it's fine. But when you have been in a band like the Beatles, or then when he was in Wings as well.
Oh yeah, Wings, yeah.
Like, and they have some pretty iconic tracks, like my beloved Mull of Kintyre, which is Nottingham Forest anthem, so I know that song very well. But when you're like him, unfortunately, when you had the privilege to be in something as huge as the Beatles, I think you owe it to your public to sing the songs that they want to hear.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you wouldn't be there if they didn't listen to your songs.
Yeah.
So I understand you might want to play some of your new songs because you're excited about them and you just wrote them. Play a few of them. Don't get me wrong. I'm happy to hear a couple of them, but it's particularly at Glastonbury, which is very much bigger than any one artist. It's a cultural event. You play the hits. Like I don't understand like some artists who like don't like their biggest song as well, or they won't play it because they're fed up with it. I don't understand that because people would be so excited to hear it. As far as I'm concerned, playing live is about serving your audience. It's about serving your fans.
Yeah.
And therefore, you should play the songs they want to hear. You should play your biggest hits because they love that.
But they cheat it, in my opinion, because when I saw Whole Notes, they were brilliant. But because they're so sick and tired of playing the old classics, is they would go, you make my... So what's the Whole Notes? You make my dreams come true. In the middle of the song... improvised music for like 3 hours.
Right.
You make my dreams come true.
So they change the song because they're bored of it.
Yeah. So they just
Yeah.
start the song, do what they want in the middle, and then finish it off.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's still not great. I went to see, I've mentioned a couple of times, I went to see the Pixies a few months back, supporting LCD Sound System, and they, obviously their most famous song is Where Is My Mind? Yeah, that song.
Right, yeah.
And that they're, Frank Black, who's the lead singer of Pixies, he's quite annoyed about Where Is My Mind having to play it, because it's so huge. It's way bigger than any of their other songs. So he sings it sort of really flippantly, really fast, and the crowd is always like sing along properly, and it all comes a bit out of place. It's sort of, that one is sort of okay because it's grunge music. It's supposed to be a little bit shoddy and a bit like, taking the piss slightly, but like, I just think if you have a great big song and it was like your first big hit and it's a reason you're on that stage today, just play it.
Yeah.
It can't be that annoying. It's if you wrote it and you believed in it and then it got big, that you made your bed, so lie in it. That's what I'm gonna say.
A few more questions. I want to talk more about you later, and then we got some quick. The music industry now. What's your opinions on it? Is it going in the right direction? Is it going in the wrong direction? And also, like, how do new people get wanting to be big?
Yeah. Well, I was worried about the music industry. I still am for some reasons, but I think generally speaking, it's good. This year has been very special.
Really?
Yeah, because there's been a lot of really interesting pop music that is also commercially successful. Biggest example is Chapel Roan. So she's been trying for like quite a long time to get more famous, and I've been listening to her for like a couple of years actually. I was a bit early to Chapel because of Olivia Rodrigo, and her producer Dan Nigro, who is also Chapel's producer, and I sort of found her through him. But she's huge. She's absolutely huge, Chapel. Like, obsessed. She's the obsession of millions of people right now. And I love that because her music is also really, really good. It's not just that like she's famous like because of the way she looks or because of, she had one popular song and everyone loves it. No, her music is just really quality. There's just great records there. And it's the same with Charlie XCX. Like the color of this wall, that when you look at that color, the first thing you think of is not green. You think Brat, like it's Brat Summer. Like,
well, I was gonna say Green Day, but
well, maybe, but I think most people now are saying this is the color of Charlie XCX. She's stolen a color. She's co-opted green to mean Brat. It's an amazing advertising campaign and it's an amazing album as well. It's so musically interesting. It's brilliant, and it's also commercially successful. The point I'm getting at is really interesting and great music is becoming commercially successful. It's not just standard run-of-the-mill boring pop music. Even Sabrina Carpenter, who is ostensibly just pop music, it's really good pop music. So I don't mind that it's really huge because it's interesting. That's what I'm liking. It feels more individual. It feels like TikTok is actually helping with this. Like songs that are interesting, that have like an interesting like 30-second clip on it, get big, get famous on TikTok, and then it becomes like a huge song. Like if you remember that song Strangers by Kenya Grace, that was like big on that drum and bass tune. That was big on TikTok, and then it went to number one for like 6 weeks, and now she's like flying and doing her own thing. And because it's an interesting song, I think it's music now, it's actually a lot more democratic and it's a lot less label focused. If our generation finds an artist or a song that they like on Instagram or on TikTok, they will make it big. Like we will take an artist and we will make them big, and even that will work for established artists as well. The 1975 have that with About You, because that song is perhaps about Taylor Swift, but it got really big on Instagram and TikTok, so it got sort of a bit more above what their songs might normally achieve, and that meant that their concerts got bigger and their stages got bigger, and like that happens to all other artists as well. If they can find that, like strike that gold, then they have a route to success. It's not just about what a label decides, because before it was about what a label decides. They would sign an artist and they go,
yeah. It's like my mum said that. It's like to this day, in old days, it was like a guy.
An A&R rep decides
and
it's
now
going
it's
to be
what
big.
the audience
Now it's what
want.
the audience wants, because it's democratic, because we as social media consumers get to decide whether this is big or not.
Big or not, yeah.
So I think it's good. It's hard. It's really hard because it's so saturated. There's so many people trying to do music on TikTok, on Instagram and stuff. So you have to stand out. There's still the other ways of doing it, right? You can still do it the old-fashioned way. You can still be a band and like play small shows in pubs and in small venues and get spotted by a guy from a label, and you can still get big. Something like The Last Dinner Party, that song "Nothing Matters," which is pretty famous. They did that. They were just playing the scene in London, playing small shows. They got signed, and then they were able to get big through that way. And because their label used social media to help them get big, but because it was still democratic, but they had a nice leg up because they were spotted. But like it's better now, I think. Because
what about copyright as well? What's your opinion on that?
Well, copyright, it's I don't think it's that important. Like in terms of like, there's nothing particularly important going on about that right now.
What about the Ed Sheeran thing?
Oh, in terms of like people stealing songs.
Well, he didn't do anything. It was just a coincidence.
Yeah, well, there's a lot more sort of like litigation going on, like where artists will claim that there's like been a theft of like copyrighted songwriting, because there's so much more money to be made. That's the honest truth. Like if you write a song and it gets really big, people are going to be circling around to try and find, oh, I wrote something similar to that like 10 years ago. I'm going to try and get money there, because if you sue Ed Sheeran for Shape of You, you could make millions off of claim back royalties, because that song has definitely like made like more than £1 billion like over its course of existence, right? Through all the streaming royalties and all the rest of it. So there's a lot of money there, but it's like I don't think it's like particularly a huge problem, because one of the things that we do have now is that the origins of music are so traceable, because as soon as you like as soon as you like make a project and you start it, it's got metadata, it's got a timestamp. So even if you like come up with a melody in your mind and you like hum it on a voice memo, that voice memo is saved on your phone and it's dated, so you can verify exactly when you first started writing a song. So you can trace everything back. So it's not. I think it's a better time than ever, because again, you can prove what you did and what you didn't do. Obviously, look, you can hear a song and then like 10 years later, you might come up with another record and it would sound similar to it, and that could be an issue. But just don't do that, and most people don't.
The last question I have before we get on to quick fire questions is, this could be anything.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's a big issue that you think you're passionate about that needs to change?
Yeah.
In the world.
Yeah, I do. And there's lots of things I'm quite passionate about, trying to make the world a better place. But I'm gonna say something close to home and something close to me is I wish people were more aware and understanding of people with anxiety disorder.
Right.
Because I have that, and I wish that I people know about anxiety, right? They know about mental health. I think we've done quite a good job of raising awareness for like generally mental health, but I don't know if I've really seen a lot of improvements in terms of the way that people are treated or accommodations made for that by institutions or by employers or whatever. Like certain people definitely will, and I've had a great experience at university, for example. Like the music department was fantastic about it, and I never felt too under strain or anxious, whatever. But I suppose what I'm saying is, if I want something for people to take away with them, like about anxiety, is just have in your like day-to-day life, if you know there's someone around you who does have anxiety, or even if they don't have it but they have like a nervous disposition or they get anxious quite easily, also can show up in things like autism or ADHD or all those kinds of things. in your day-to-day life, in like little decisions you make every day, just take a moment to think about how your decision is going to impact somebody with anxiety. So if you've made plans for something, for example, if you decide you're going to change them last minute, just take a moment to think about how that's going to affect somebody with anxiety. Because if I was involved in those plans and you change them last minute, my world has suddenly been spun 180 and I'm in a tailspin, because I had planned out what that day was going to look like, and I planned out like where I was going to be and how safe it was, and that kind of thing. Maybe that might not sound big to people who don't go through that, but to me that's like a day ending, ruining. I just want to go home and go into a ball and cry. So just take a moment in your day-to-day life, just think, how can I make life a bit easier for this person? If you're an employer, if you're a friend, if you're a family member, just be a little bit more sensitive and a little bit more understanding of that person, and try and help them, because they're not asking for much. They're just asking for to be seen and to be accommodated for in some way. I think that's what I would say.
That's a good answer to that question. I have a little bit of anxiety as well.
Yeah,
I think that's a really good answer to that question.
Because there's no reason to not make their lives easier, because what you'll find with a lot of anxious people is that actually they are some of the most, and it sounds like I'm like bigging myself up, but people with anxiety tend to be very emotionally intelligent and very sensitive and very very kind people, because they are constantly thinking about how other people feel.
Right.
So just take a moment to think, turn that around. So I'm always thinking about how other people feel. Maybe once in a while you should think about how I feel a bit more, like in general. I'm not to call anybody out or say that people are not being good people, but just in general, you can just, if you're okay, just use some of your energy to help somebody else. That's maybe what I would say.
That's a very good. Wow, you should be a motivational speaker, not music production. Talk to me a little bit about Arari and how you got onto that.
Talk to me about Arari. Okay, so Arari started with my friendship and flatmating with Jack, who was.
Were you a flatmate with Jack?
I was flatmate with Jack in my second year, his first year.
Really?
Yeah. At random, it was a random like flat share. We got on pretty well. And I was a music student, so he asked when we got to his final year. He asked me. This one I was graduated, but he asked me, "Do you want to score it?" Along with Izzy, who was the other.
Izzy Hood.
Izzy Hood, who we love. Izzy Hood. She's one of the loveliest people in the world.
Fantastic. Brilliant.
And yeah, so I started scoring it, and then they asked me if I wouldn't mind helping them actually on set. So I had a job at the time that wasn't uni, so I couldn't commit every day, but I spent about like half of the filming days. There was about 18 days of filming. I was there for about 9, mainly in Southampton, because our set was at Southampton Solent College, it's like the vocational college in Southampton. We built a set there, and we filmed there for like 8 days. That's where the robot was, puppeteered by Joel. If people know Joel. Lots of people. The
robot was very good.
The robot is awesome. We still have it.
Do you?
Yeah, we still have it.
And Hope did a lot of the cinematography.
Hope did a lot of cinematography. Yeah, with Izzy. Who else was there? Ellie Dines was there sometimes.
Oh right, yeah. Kyle was there.
Kyle was there occasionally. Yeah.
The actor in Arari was really good.
Yeah, he's a lovely guy, John. Really, really lovely guy.
He was very good.
He's such a good actor, and I spent a lot of time hanging out with him, like in between sets and filming and like traveling back to Winchester and stuff. And he's such a lovely guy.
Who's the guy who did the voice of the robot?
Another voice actor. His name escapes me, but we recorded him up in the audio suite. And yeah, in here, yeah. Really good as well. Really nice guy. And that was really fun. And scoring it was pretty fun. I tried to go for that like Trent Reznor Social Network thing. Hopefully people enjoyed it when it was played out.
I want to talk a little bit more. I feel like you're just music, but I feel like there's more to you than music.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I feel bad that all the music.
But music is. I love.
But
music.
Is there anything else you could sum up yourself in a few words? Could you like to talk a bit about you? I feel bad. I should have said that at the beginning, really.
There's not much to say.
What?
I'm
Lovely guy.
I'm a nice guy. I hope.
Hard-working guy.
I work hard. I hope that. I guess if we contextualize it with university, I hope that I'm just somebody that people feel like they can talk to and that can be helpful if necessary. Or
definitely.
Can just be there to like have a chat and sort of be a friend to anyone. I'm passionate about because of what my course did for me and how powerful it was for my life. I'm very passionate about trying to help students have that same experience. That's important to me. Is like if there's a student at university, I want them to have a great time and I want them to like develop into the person that they want to be. So if I can help with that, then I suppose that's sort of why I'm here, I would say.
And you're good. I really see you in the MMC, man. Quick fire questions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to add a few of these in because it's music related.
Cool.
What's your favourite film of all time?
Oh, that's so hard. I can't choose one. That's very hard. Can I give you three?
Yeah, go on then.
The Big Short.
Right, yeah.
I love The Big Short. Juno. Elliot Page.
Oh, right.
Yeah, Juno.
Oh, yeah. Is that the orange and white Jason Reitman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one about the girl who gets pregnant and then that is who was Ellen Page, now Elliot Page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the third one?
And the third one, which I think I might actually say is my favourite, is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Who stars in that?
Jim Carrey, Kate Winslet, Kirsten Dunst, Mark Ruffalo.
Oh yeah. Is that they're on the ice or something?
They're on the ice, yeah.
Yeah,
It's the one where they're trying to erase memories of their ex. He's trying to erase memory of her ex because she did it to him, and then he realizes halfway through he doesn't want to forget. And then through a series of, I'm not going to spoil it, but yeah, that is probably my favorite film of all time. It's so brilliant. The score is gorgeous. It's shot beautifully, and Kate Winslet's performance especially is like ridiculously good.
I bet you found like do you have like a favorite movie score in your
Yes, I do have a favorite movie score. It's a Rari. No, I'm joking.
We need to talk about that. We
should talk about that. No, so I would say my favorite film score is probably Inception. I'm a big Hans Zimmer fan.
Right.
I also shout out to the James Bond film No Time to Die, which is also a Hans Zimmer score. That's absolutely gorgeous. The final scene. I'm going to spoil it. If you haven't seen No Time to Die by now, like tough. He dies at the end of the film. And the score that goes along with that ending scene is absolutely soul destroying. I was in the cinema just crying my eyes out. It's beautiful. There's loads of great scores from films. I
know a lot of movies.
The Big Short has a fantastic score as well. It's so well timed, and like it gets the urgency and like the terrifying nature of that film, because it's like a comedy drama basically about the financial crisis.
Yeah.
But those moments where it's really terrifying about the fact like the world is about to like collapse because of this financial instrument.
2008 crash.
Those moments are scored so urgently, and like then when everything has crumbled down, there's the scene at the end with Steve Carell on the roof of his New Jersey like penthouse. And there's just this like sort of piano thing that's actually reminds me of another film as well, which has quite a similar idea in terms of score, but it has like this ambient piano, like just a few notes, but it's just crushing like intervals of like depression and sadness. The Social Network, which is another one, which is a Trent Reznor score, who's from Nine Inch Nails. That is a gorgeous score as well.
As a kid, and I still do. I still find myself listening to film.
Yeah,
scores.
I do too.
Indiana Jones, the new score for that.
Yeah,
John Williams one. That's my number one song.
Yeah, John Williams is great as well.
I love John Williams. Alexander Desplat.
Yes.
Thomas Newman.
Yeah.
Hans Zimmer. Danny Elfman.
Yeah, Danny Elfman is great.
God, it's gonna hit me. Yeah, just all those.
All the
really
classics,
good,
of course, are there.
Yeah.
But I like The Social Network actually a lot because it's a bit different. It's sort of like a bit more. It's a bit more unnerving and like sort of weird.
There's a guy called Harold something, Harold Stern or something.
Howard Stern is a radio presenter.
No, Harold.
Harold.
Someone.
I'm not sure.
Don't worry, but I love a lot of
Yeah.
movie music, like a lot.
Yeah, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind is my favorite film of all time.
Favorite song you listen to forever?
Okay, so there's like
Hard question.
There's like a billion, but I actually do have a definitive favorite song of all time.
Go on then.
It's a song called "All My Friends" by LCD Sound System.
All My Friends. Okay.
Yeah. It's a 7, nearly 8 minute, like progressive indie dance song, and it is the most gorgeous song about sort of regret. It's
I'm gonna Google that later.
I
afterwards.
saw them live, as I said, a few months ago, and that was one of the best moments of my life.
If you could be a person for a day, who would it be?
Matty Healy.
Do you have any? We've done that. We've already banned stuff. Sorry, I've lost myself. Childhood celebrity crush.
Alison Hannigan in How I Met Your Mother.
Right. Okay.
I've always been really jealous of Marshall.
Was she in Marvel?
I know that's the other. That's the girl who plays Robin, whose name escapes me. What's her name? She plays Robin Scherbatsky in How I Met Your Mother.
That's not her. That's not what I'm thinking of.
But she's in Marvel. What is her name? She's Canadian. Her. But Alison Hannigan, who plays Lily, the ginger one in How I Met Your Mother. Also, to be fair, Kate Winslet in Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Secret talent or no fact people don't know about you?
I don't really have many secret talents. I'm not.
What do you like besides music and stuff?
Sport. So I mean, I
you
guess
like Formula One.
Formula One. I mean, I suppose like people might not know that like I was a relatively good tennis player and cricketer.
Really?
Yeah, when I was a kid, in school and stuff. I played for like county and stuff with the school. But yeah, sport is a big thing for me. Gaming, I'm a pretty big gamer. Yeah.
You played Last of Us? I love Last of Us.
I played The Last of Us. Yeah, that's
good score on that.
Great score on that one. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, game scores are some absolutely gorgeous game scores. Maybe the best one of all time being Super Mario Galaxy, which I love the Nintendo stuff, like Zelda and Mario. Their scores are just like out of this world good. But yeah, gaming, I'm into that, and TV as well. Like I love TV. Like,
what's your favorite TV show?
The West Wing.
Ah. Because the writer who wrote West Wing
Aaron
wrote
Sorkin.
Last of Us 2.
Yes, he was a part of the writing staff, yeah.
She?
No, well, The West Wing was written by Aaron Sorkin.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking of someone else.
You might be thinking of something else.
He was a writer for West Wing.
Quite possibly, yeah.
Or Westworld or something.
Westworld is another show. The West Wing is
probably Westworld.
The West Wing is a show about the White House, starring Martin Sheen as the president. But,
yeah.
Yeah, The West Wing is my favorite TV show.
What is something that you have that you need to throw out?
Like an item.
Yeah. Don't say trash because everyone keeps saying trash. It's a.
I don't know.
Answer.
I have a load of old like laptops that are just like from when I was really young that are just like really old and like crap. So I just should probably recycle them responsibly. But
do you still have vinyls?
Yeah, but I'm not going to throw them away. I love those. I have a record player. I'm a vinyl collector. Like, it's music. You're never going to throw away a vinyl. I bought a vinyl yesterday.
How much would a 1975 vinyl signed cost?
Well, it depends which one, because it's
first one.
Well, what it more so depends on is not the signature. It's what color the vinyl is, because they printed different color vinyls and things. I have a couple of signed vinyls, a couple of signed CDs.
From 75?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I have a signed copy of the latest album on CD. I have a signed copy of
4 of them.
Yeah, all 4 of them. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
They can be worth like maybe up to like a couple £100 if you have the right one. But it's as I say, it's more so actually about the addition of the album, not the signatures, because their signatures are relatively common. They sign a lot of stuff.
What keeps you up at night?
My own mortality.
If you time travel, where would you go?
I don't know. History's sort of like pretty terrible. Like wherever you go, depends who you go back as, in a way, because like you could go back to like Tudor times, and if you were Henry VIII, it was probably pretty cool. But if you were like a peasant,
No, you
probably wasn't very good.
then.
I would use it tactically. I'd probably go back to when I was a kid and do some things differently.
Good answer. Favorite word?
Petrichor.
What does that mean?
Petrichor is the smell that you will experience when it's rained on a hot day, and it's the smell of like hot rain on pavement, on cement.
Oh.
Do
you like smelling it?
It's a beautiful smell, and it's a great word, and it's also a great song by the 1975.
Oh, right.
But it's a great word.
Guilty-
Also, echolalia.
What's that mean?
Which is something that I did have when I was younger. It's basically where you involuntarily repeat words that people say. It's typically like a developmental condition. It's like to do with autism, but echolalia.
All right. Oh. Guilty pleasure.
I don't know. Alcohol. Yeah.
Too much money on spoons for me,
Yeah.
definitely. And last question: if you had the choice to see who's the next guest, who would you choose?
Okay, interesting. Who would be interesting? I mean,
I've had Izzy Cross.
you've had Izzy Cross.
I want to get Izzy Hood. She would be good.
Izzy Hood would be good. She's very interesting. She's a very interesting person.
Who else?
You know who would be good? I'm gonna suggest one of the music lecturers, because I think they are an enormously interesting person, and that would be I'm happy to say good friend Corin Evans Pritchard, who is the co-program leader of the music and sound production course. He's one of the loveliest people in the whole world. He's been very important to me in my life in the last kind of 4 or 5 years, and he's a very interesting person. You could talk to him for hours. So get Corin on.
Yeah.
See if he wants to come on.
That'd be a good thing for the next one. Is like friends and shout outs. So you'd shout out him, I assume.
Yeah, I'd shout out Corin for sure. Shout out everyone at music. Robbie and Paul. And
your housemates, the ones I met at Spoons.
Yeah, my housemates, everyone who's been friends or lived with me at uni. You're all rather cool.
Yeah,
Jan's. Yeah, I like Jan. He's a lovely guy as well. We're hopefully working together and stuff. Jake, Kirsten, Liv, Hope. Who else? Basically everyone in the AMC. Jimmer, Cullen, Caleb, Catherine, Tamu, Izzy. Who else?
Your Vodafone co-worker, who's my ex-flatmate.
Yeah, Jack Holcroft. Yeah,
love Jack. I love Jack.
Jack's one of the nicest people as well I've ever had the privilege of working with. Vodafone was made bearable often by Jack.
Love Jack.
Becca,
yeah.
Yes.
Love Becca.
I love Becca. She's so nice. She always put a smile on my face. So shout out Becca.
She's lovely Becca. Yeah. I love doing her laugh. Like, hee hee. She's great. She's like a Muppet. She loves Muppets.
She does. Yeah. No. She puts a smile on my face.
Yeah. She's brilliant. Hopefully get her and Tamo and Dan on.
Yeah. That's a bit of like a likely crew. They should be a fun.
Those three and Hope were like my early film people.
Yeah. That would be a fun conversation, I reckon.
Yeah. Do you have any social Instagram dom stuff? Like, do you have like a professional music?
Not really. I sort of just have like my personal Instagram, which is just my name, Dominic.Lambrechts.
And what about the Tree Band?
Treetops. That is actually on Instagram at Treetops Band. There's nothing on there yet, other than like a teaser photo for like something that never happened. But it's still thematically part of the band. So I'm gonna leave it up there. But
when this episode comes out, it'll probably be more because this will come out in a long time.
Yeah. Hopefully stuff happens there. That'd be fun.
Well, my favourite rock star, my favourite person, not my favourite person, but one of my heroes is Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Has a great
legend
who has a great Indiana Jones musical theme. I always say at the end of the show, I want Harrison Ford to come on my show. So,
Harrison, if you're seeing this when I'm famous, come on Chat and That, and that would really make Matt Kirby's life.
Thank you, please. And as an initial question, we're talking about General Ortega on the Halloween special last few episodes ago. But there's a connection that we have that I'm. There's a connection that we have.
Right.
So I'm a fan of General Ortega, and you're a fan of 1975, and they were on.
They
SNL
were on
together.
SNL together. Yes, they were.
That's
Jenna
crazy.
hosted it the time that the boys went on. Yeah, it was good episodes.
Yeah,
They played.
it was good.
They played a couple of great songs. Which is,
Yeah.
I love SNL. I'm a big SNL fan.
Same. I'm a huge SNL
Yeah.
fan. I want to do. Hopefully, this comes out when it happens. But hopefully, you can help me on this, and you could be part of the audience member. I want to do a last hurrah for my year.
Okay.
I want to do a thing called Winchester Night Live in the PG. And
Yeah.
just have like people as the audience.
Yeah, that would be
have
sick.
one or two sketches, and then I do a monologue, and then have some band
Yeah,
stuff.
do a
So
band.
get like a drum kit in the corner,
Yeah,
and get
that would
band
be
that
really
you-
cool.
Maybe your band,
Maybe my band, yeah.
or something like that. Just a nice little kind of thing. And then when it's filmed, I edit it over September, October, and summer, and it comes out when we graduate in November.
Yeah, that would be
Nice little
fun.
thing,
Yeah,
And
big,
it'll
that'd
be
be
a
good.
homage to you and all the people come and gone. And
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I like that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Live for Winchester. It's
It's WNL.
yeah, WNL. Sounds like a wrestling thing.
thing.
But that's it, really.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for coming on, Dom.
you're very welcome. It's
Oh.
I've been dreaming of this day. I'm sad it's
you?
over.
Oh,
Yeah,
you can come on with your tree band.
yeah. I'll come on with the rest of the guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, how many people are in your band?
4.
And do I know all 4 of them?
Yeah,
I know all 4 of them.
I think so. Maybe.
Are they ex-students?
I'm not saying any more.
I know all 4 of them. That's weird.
You might do. You definitely know one of them
Very well.
quite well.
I bet it's Izzy Cross or something.
I'm not saying anything.
I bet it's her. But thanks, Dom. Listen, I missed you. Come back. But again, thank you so much for coming on. And Dom, I miss you. Oh, you're such a lovely friend of mine. And good luck with everything. And I'll see you hopefully.
I'll always
next
be around.
time. Always be around. And yeah, good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck with your mysterious band. And make sure you sign my book.
I will sign your book.
Yeah, your episode 32.
Ooh, nice.
33.
33.
33.
Nice. Good number.
Yeah. Could have been 75.
Could have been.
That would be interesting.
That would have taken a long time, I reckon, though.
Yeah.
That's a lo-
I've actually counted. I've got 73 episodes.
wow,
to
we have
do.
that many people lined
Yeah.
up. That's pretty cool.
Well, like 73 altogether.
Yeah.
But
There's a lot of people here, to be
should
fair.
be episode. You'll come back for episode 75.
Sure.
There you
We'll
go.
do a special, episode
Yeah.
75.
975 special. There you go. Brilliant. Well, thanks
Perfect.
so much, Dom.
You're welcome.
And good luck with everything.
Thank
and,
you.
Thank you. Oh, interesting. I won't too long. You got so many bands on you.
Reading Festival.
Reading Festival.
Good times.
Well, that's Chat and That. Thank you so much for the lovely Dom for coming on the show. If you want to come on the show, which I don't know, I have to make a schedule again. I've said that 100 billion times. Follow CT Plus Production, which is somewhere here. And Harrison Ford, please come on my show. And yeah, that's Chat and That. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Woo!
Woo.